When the time came to tell my mom I was having a baby as a young single mom, I was terrified. It wasn't that I knew she was going to ridicule me. I didn't want to be a child abuser like her. Growing up, child abuse was a taboo topic. I didn't know what a healthy, supportive family looked like. In Arizona, there were 4,000 new cases of child abuse in August alone. I wasn't going to be part of that statistic. I'm Lori Regal, Development Director at Arizona's Children Association. And 22 years ago, just after my daughter Logan was born, I found Arizona's Children Association's Stay and Play parenting program. It was a safe, judgment-free environment where I learned evidence-based parenting techniques. And being around other new moms, I learned I wasn't the only one overwhelmed by parenting. Weekly stay-and plays are held around the community for parents and children to learn and grow together. Stay and play works because parents are their children's most important teachers. Parents learn how the things they do and say affect their children's development. Asking for help is a sign of strength. Everyone wants to raise their children lovingly, and learning nurturing parenting is the first step. Parenting is tough, right? But having a toolbox of parenting techniques is a safety net. It's the difference between keeping your calm in a crisis is not easy, but having a toolbox of parenting techniques is a safety net. It's the difference between turning that crisis into a learning moment instead of the possibility of it turning into child abuse. In Tucson last year, 1,000 parents attended our Stay and Play, while Arizona's child abuse hotline received 24,000 calls. That's too many, enough to fill every seat in Arizona Stadium with 7,000 children left waiting outside. Every parent has a story. I remember sitting on the floor with Logan in my lap next to other new moms. We were congratulating ourselves for getting out the door on time, a huge accomplishment with a new baby. While I'm far from the perfect parent, I broke the chain of violence in my family with the help of Arizona Children. Now, Logan's 22 years old, and she just graduated from Northeastern University, magna cum laude, and she works as a scientist studying immunology. That's our success story, thanks to Arizona's Children. Let's give every parent that chance. $500 covers toys, puzzles, and books for Stay and Play. $3,600 play equipment, and $25,000 adds a parent educator to our team. Sorry, I messed up in one place, which I know. And I just kept going, even though I saw your time. Sorry.
Hi, Lori.
Hi.
Good job.
Thank you.
So I get the feeling that you are just a positive person all the time, and that's good. But I feel like this was very scripted in a cheerleader, positive kind of way, and I didn't see, sometimes your words didn't match your facial expressions. Mm-hmm. When you were talking about desperate things, you seemed very still cheerleading, which may be a coping mechanism that you do when you're dealing with stress and stuff like that, which can be great. But I needed to feel the desperation in the times when you were talking about desperation. I think that right before you say, I didn't want to be a child abuser like her, I think you need to pause, like a real solid, good, maybe even a 2-second. It's not that I didn't want to be a mom. It's that I didn't want to be a child abuser like her. Like really let that air out, because that's impactful. But I did love the reference you made to all those kids stuck outside of Arizona Stadium. That just, to me, gave me the sense of urgency and need. Overall, good job. Just do it in front of a mirror, I think, so you can see what we're talking about, or look back at the tape. I mean, you'll see it, but practice over and over again, making your outer match your words.
Thank you, Christy, because I was trying to think about how to phrase what I was hearing as well. Hi, Lori. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You're awesome. You know, you're really awesome. And your story is amazing. And the fact that you're vulnerable enough to share your own personal story and share it in the way that you share it is so powerful. And I agree that I wrote down inflection and like high pitch. It's like, you know how sometimes we'll go up and we say something, you know, like there's a lot of that. And there was a lot of gravity to some of the things you were saying. And it was calling for you to have a lower register and be a little more sober, and then bring in your cheerleading self when you get to the part where the solution is happening. So, I mean, these are all things that are so like nuanced, you know, because your talk is really good. At the end, you say, let's give everyone a chance or something like that. And I like that, but I'm going to say what I've said to everybody else, which is I think you need to say, you can give everyone a chance.
Yeah, I had your 500, and I just like rushed through at the end because I was out of time.
Yeah. But I, you know, it was a good moment. I just think if you would really nail it if you said you can give everyone a chance.
Okay.
So ditto what they said. And so this is your time. It's there. You have it. And I definitely agree with there are times where it feels a little too cheerleader-like throughout the whole process, and you don't want to do that because there's some seriousness in here. So spend some time really looking at your video, because looking at your video, and then after you look at the video, what you'll want to do is watch the video. This is what I did. Now I'm going to do it in a mirror to see how I'm responding to the message that I'm delivering. And think in terms of a person in front of you also. If someone was in front of you and you really want them to go there with you on that story, there are those times you got to get a little deeper, a little bit more serious for them to buy into the story with you. So practice it that way, because it's all there, and now it really is a matter of honing it to make it really work for you.
Yeah, it's funny because when the last time I practiced last night, like around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I started crying as I was getting the words out. And then this time, I think it was just the adrenaline pushed it, and I didn't get there. So it's a matter of controlling that.
Yeah, control your adrenaline. But I mean, you're on the right track. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.